So, hi everybody. Hi Zach.
Hi, Zach.
So,
How are you?
welcome back. I'm good.
Yes.
Yes. So, welcome back, viewers, for our third episode about DevOps. And if you want to learn about DevOps, Arshad Zackeriya is the person, right? So, I'm John Zackeriya Noel, and I'm a AWS community builder and a serverless architect. Arshad Zackeriya, the co-host of this stream, is the DevOps consultant at.
Palo
So I'll
IT.
let you see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yes, I'm also a community builder. I think most of you know that we both met. I found a good friend from AWS community builder. So that's Zach. So we both staying geographically, I think more than 1,000 kilometers away. But yes, we did something, started to share the knowledge, and we also will learn doing this awesome thing. So while you're waiting, let's get started, right? About today's session.
yep, let's get started.
Okay, so today's session it's about DevOps. So we are going to give the brief and the basic about what is DevOps, and mainly we are focusing on how to enable DevOps on AWS and what are the tools that you can use to enable you in the AWS, and how to do your DevOps transformation, and how to ship your the code from your first commit to the production. So before we go to DevOps, you'll see, how things happen before DevOps, right? So there's a team called Autonomous Team. So they used to do things, that before these DevOps thing come to the industry. So they're the one who are doing like everything that in their own work, and whatever things they have to do themselves. There's no any different silos, so any segregations in the organization. So what are the dev and ops roles mainly, right? So dev, what they do is create changes, add or modify features, or maybe that can be a bug or fixing a bug day-to-day life, something different, a new feature, and maybe a version upgrade. It can be anything, right? So ops basically create the stability. So if it's running the production, if it's work, yes, it should be stable, right? It should be able to run up and run always without any interruption to the customers, because if the customers it can impact the customers, right? If anything happened to go to the site, so it can impact the customers, the business, so it impact everyone. So create and enhance services. So they can create and enhance the services, so it doesn't matter, right? So even though you have the systems, like for example, if you have running 10 servers, that doesn't mean you have to run the same 10 servers in next year for the next Christmas. So you have to enhance it, because your users will go up, maybe down, it depends on your business. And monitor and observability, so that's really important, right? So you should know how your system is behaving, and what's going on your application, how things are going on, right? And the problem, this is very a common thing, that we say that work fine in dev, now ops problem. So Zach, you're a dev, right? So have you faced this thing before?
Yes. So it certainly works very well in dev environment.
Yes.
So
So
yeah, that
this is a very well known problem that in everywhere that we complain that it's working in the dev fine, but now it's a problem in the production. So we need some proper solution for this. Every day we cannot pass the ball and do the complaint, right? So what is DevOps? It's a combination of culture, practices, and tools. So that increase the organization ability to deliver application and service in high velocity. That means simply, you build, and you code, you build, and you make the build package, and high velocity you should put to the production. It's like maybe we are talking about Amazon or eBay, right? Every day we see new features, and we don't see any downtimes, right? So it's in high velocity, they put new features, new new tools, new plugins, so many new things, right? Awesome things are going on. So because the industry is in running with high velocity, right? If Amazon is releasing some new features, eBay, the competitors, right, in the industry, so they also will do. So we have to be high velocity, otherwise it will impact your business. And make sure, same time, you have to stability, right? So you cannot like just test anything on the production, right? You cannot just deliver like that. So you have to have a proper combination of this culture, practice, and tools. So let's move into and each of every topic, and we'll discuss what are these combination of the culture, practice. Because Zach, when we do talk about and DevOps, and when we do a lot of interviews, that always mainly concerned about the tools. Like I know Kubernetes, so I know Docker. It doesn't mean, right? Doesn't matter, because even though you may be good at these tools, but you should know which tool to use where, right? So otherwise, if you're a Formula One driver and you're driving a old and very broken car, doesn't make any sense, something like that. So culture, practice, and tools. So the culture is all about that you have to make a DevOps culture inside the organization that it's something like it's not one person work, I would say. It's a collaboration. So you have to work with, now we have like DevOps enablers, DevOps consultant, DevOps engineers, database DevOps, network DevOps. There are so many designations are going on. But the culture you should enable a culture that how you can enable DevOps in the organization, right? You should have that mindset. The mindset should be there, to do the DevOps in the culture. For example, the culture should be a blameless culture. You can do mistakes. It's normal, right? Common mistake. Like people can do mistakes, but as we believe in DevOps feedback, we should be able to rectify that issue and overcome, and we should able to fix that and move on and make sure we are not going to do the same mistake again. So you have to come with that, the culture, the mindset, to the agile mindset in that organization. You should be able to you should not resist to change. So most of the old school, I would say the engineers, I always say in this that okay, if it's working in production, don't touch it. Maybe that code is running for like decades. So when new change is going on, they're always very scared. That don't touch it, don't do anything, just keep it. It's working fine. No, not like that. So you have to come up with like a good culture, right? For example, if maybe your website is out of date, it's running inside a static web server, like old server, you can go for like a Lambda API Lambda API gateway and S3, the combination of a serverless architecture, right, Zach? So it can save your money. And practices, right? You should automate everything. Don't worry, even though you might think, okay, this thing I'm going to do only one time, right? Do I need to automate? No, you do automate. Even try to automate your job. You try to automate everything, because when you do coding, right, there can be only two results, false or true, right? Only one or zero. It can be work or it won't work, right? So if you automate, you won't do any human errors. So do automation. Even for a small work, just write a script and automate. And always try to do the test cases, right? Check whether it is okay or not. And go for like practice, like implement CI/CD pipelines. When DevOps, right, we talk about CI/CD. How you're going to continuously integrate, like build and deploy. So later on we'll be talking about more about that, what is CI/CD. So like practices, right? And other one is the feedback. So feedback also really important, right? So if something going wrong and you find out what's wrong, and maybe for example, okay, your code is something like doing very bad performance. You're finding out, okay, maybe you're running a Lambda function and you through the X-ray tracing, you're finding out, okay, your function is performing badly. So you should have that mindset, and you should have a good practice to fix it and redeploy it in the next release. So you should have that practices. And tools, yes, tools, I think we can talk about like entire day about tools. what other DevOps tools are there? So many, right? So if you start from Jenkins, GitLab, GitHub, from the AWS, you have a code pipeline, code build. There's so many. Later on, we'll discuss about more. So if you go to container, Kubernetes, Docker, you name it, so many. So you should understand that. Understand DevOps is very important. DevOps is a concept, a mindset, a shared attitude understood and embraced by individuals, a culture about observability, learning. You should learn all the way. All time you should be able to learn. And open for all the ideas, you should listen to others. It doesn't matter, right? Maybe you're a senior or a junior. Maybe that the person is thinking of different perspective, different ideas they may have. And iterative and continuous, collaborative, and the awesome way to confidently develop and deliver software. So you should be able to confident to deliver the software. So I always ask how many are doing releases on a weekend or after the office hours. So if you are doing best DevOps practices, that means you're not doing it correctly. If you're having a good DevOps culture and using DevOps good practices, you should be able to deploy anytime confidently to the production without any interruptions. That means you're going to a good DevOps practices. So I will add something like this topic is very vast, and it's a wide area. So me and Zach was decided we start with this basic, and we'll take one by one and we'll go on. So why I'm talking about this, I have to deploy very fast, right? So one of the SRE, right, site reliability engineering standard is your artifact to go to the production, it should be smaller and more. So you rather than you're deploying more features at one time, you can deploy feature by feature, small features, so you can easily revert. If anything goes wrong, you can revert it. No, so minimum damage to the business and the your application. So that's really important. So if you're not doing this, that means you have to learn and try to understand why this is going on. So the place we are working, I am more than happy. We are doing best, like awesome stuff. So Friday we do deployment. So my friends asking, oh, Friday, it's not a risk, your weekend, right? No, because we have like everything is automated. So actually I confidently we can deliver the application because we are having good DevOps practices and the culture in the organization. And DevOps is not a product or tool chain. Don't depend on the tools, because you maybe talk about Kubernetes today, tomorrow maybe another tool. And it's not a job title or role. And don't think, okay, I'm a DevOps engineer, I should know. No, we all learn every day, right? So AWS, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Azure, knowing a cloud, it's a platform where it's helping you to do DevOps. It doesn't mean you're DevOps, right? But it helps you to enable DevOps, right? And Docker, technology, a programming language, CI/CD, Kubernetes containers. These are coming under the DevOps tools. So infrastructure as code is coming under DevOps practices, and automation, as we discussed earlier. And when we talk about DevOps, Zach, we cannot forget about the COMS framework. So the COMS framework is really important. That I think we have 2 comments. Okay.
So that's Pubudu who's joining us.
Hi, Pubudu. Yeah, I think he's our one of our awesome fans. Always, yeah. Hi.
Yep.
Who's that?
So it's another community builder. Sorry, I can't pronounce the name.
I'm really sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Chukwu. Yeah, not Chukwu. Yeah. Hi. So I hope you guys enjoying this. So if you have any question, just please help to post here. I'm more than happy to answer if I know. If not, next sessions we can come up with the answers. Yes. So the culture I was talking about, right? So COM stand for culture, automation, lean, measurement, and sharing. So the culture is, as we talk about, the enabling the DevOps in the culture and remove the barriers from the different silos and stuff. The automation and the lean is really important, right? So you should be able to get rid of the unwanted things and limit and the measurement. Measurement is when the observability comes. So that's really separate part we should talk about because there are so many things to cover in observability. So for example, when we talk about DevOps, we talk about DORA metrics, right? So DORA metrics, that there are 4 metrics, especially the lead time. So you can check, okay, how success is your releases, your DevOps inside your culture, right? How often you are putting a release after you're getting the feature from the commit to production, and so on. So, and meantime to recover, right? So if anything goes wrong, how long you take it to recover, so you can get as a percentage from your whatever the tools you're using. And sharing knowledge, that's really important. Feedback and sharing, I really love that. So that's what we do here now. So we share the knowledge here, and we also gain the knowledge. That's what we love to do. Yes. So this is continuous integration, continuous deployment, CI/CD. So what will happen is, like, that when okay, for example, Jones is working in a dev branch, and he's creating a separate branch to work on it. So feature can be something else, anything. So he wanted to check, and he want to just do his work, and he want to jump to the other feature, and maybe working in a different branch or same one. Sorry. Different branch, and he just want to focus on his code and don't want to worry about anything. So what happen is, so he can commit and push the source code, and it will build. For example, if it's a node application, so npm install, and whatever the commands will go on, and it will install and test. So you can test, and the scans, right? You can run like security scans, SAS scans, SCS scans. So it's come to the DevSecOps side about security scan. So we'll discuss about separately in another session. And if you want to know more about that, I did a session on ASEAN Summit this year about how to secure pipeline. So it's already happened yesterday, but on demand you can watch the videos, right? Correct, Zach? I think yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So you would have the videos on demand available. So I've highlighted the link to the video also, so you can
please check.
go ahead
and yeah, so you can watch that and give the feedback. So that one I'm planning to do like a in-depth one, like like a hands-on lab with you guys, so we can do one day that step by step I'll do, so you can follow how to set up the same setup. And okay, feedback loop and the fail metrics, success metrics, they're really important. So you can measure your the deployment, like I mentioned, like using like DORA metrics. So most of the tools, the CI/CD platform supports about this tool, like GitLab, GitHub. You can even you can customize your own way of doing these things as well. So feedback is really important because you should check how your code is behaving on the production, and how it's behaving on the infrastructure, because it's really important. Those data are going to be business critical data, because if you are not going to perform well and not deliver to the customers to the best the customers can leave. So retaining customers is number one. So make sure that feedback take as a very serious. So CI/CD on AWS, yes, we have some awesome tool, AWS Code Commit. That's your source repository. So you can check the link, Zaccast put, so you can see all the AWS related tools and practices, everything in that link, and you can see the code pipeline and code build, AWS code deploy. So code inside the code pipeline, you can come up with different stages. So as I mentioned, this today we are going for a basic one. So we can, in the future, everything's going to be on top of this platform. So whatever the demos we are going to do, we are going to be on top of this platform. So before that, we'll make sure we'll do a hands-on session, how to do a small set up the pipeline, and how to do a deployment and the delivery as well. So like the production with another tier approval, and how you once the artifact is ready, you will get a notification. Okay, your artifact is ready now. It's ready to go to the deployment or production. So a peer reviewer will come and okay, it's okay now. You should approve. And we can show like integrating with Slack, right, Zach? Get the notification to your Slack channels. From there, you can interact. So there's so many awesome things you can do. That's why I love these things. It's like you can do like that. I remember like a few years ago that I wasn't using a Mac, so I was using a normal Intel chip
Windows.
machine. Yes. So it's because my tech lead, right? His name was Amila. So I learned a lot from him. So he introduced me this Arch Linux. So he told me you need another machine to install that because it's step by step. You have to go through it. So the best thing is because you can install whatever thing you need and you can get rid of. No need to install everything, right? Because when you install like something like Ubuntu with any desktop environment, right? It's I think Unity. Those are like very very heavy. So you can install your own thing. So something like that. So you can make things as whatever you want. So AWS code pipeline is now really really improved that you can integrate with so many things. GitHub, GitLab, even the hosted services like dedicated services. Like if you have your own things, you can experience, right? You can integrate with that. If I'm not wrong. And for example, like the demo I did with Sneak, it's vulnerability scanning, right? So directly you can integrate with Sneak, just few more clicks, that's it. You can do it. So very very easy. And code build. Wow, I love code build because you can do a lot of things using the code build. So later on we'll be talking about each and tool separately. And the code deploy also we'll be talking. So this is the basic pipeline how we're going to do, and you can have different stages. If you want you can have the same pipeline from the dev UAT to production, or you can have a separate pipeline. So there are some cases I can show you later. So manage continuous delivery service. You visualize the release process and automate pipeline regarding the code change, or you can manual change, and if you want you can change for different features. So I did one session later I can share that you can keep one source code in one way like a source of truth, and you can trigger multiple pipelines around the other AWS accounts. So many things you can do. So integrate with third-party tools, like testing, like I mentioned. You can use of your own tools, like from the Sonatype, Nexus IQ, the Nexus Lifecycle, right? And Sneak, you name it. There are so many tools, so you can integrate with those things like SonaCube also there, open source one. And the code build is fully managed build service, and the best part is you can build containers for and in immutable environment. So you can use, that's the best thing, you can have, if you have a container image, you can do whatever the build inside your container. So you can manage, it doesn't matter which language you use your own container, fine. And the best part, the isolated VPC, right? Because okay, for example, I'll give an example that if your code build needs some access some keys, some parameters from, like for example, from your Redis cluster, so want to access the database and do some schema updates through your VPC, securely you can access those resources rather going through the internet, right? So that's one of the best part about the isolated VPC. And yes, Docker and AWS CLI out of the box, and able to customize build environments. Yes, so you can customize your environment variables, and so many things are there. So when we do a proper end-to-end setup, we'll go through each and every function. It's very interesting about how to secure it, using KMS encryption for your resources, like secret manager, SSM parameters, you name it. There are so many tools. And yes, code build, you need a YAML, like same like use in GitHub, you have a YAML. So all the steps are there. It's very simple. So this YAML is for EKS deployment. you know that still the code deploy doesn't support directly case deployment, so you have to use code build for I told you, like, you can use code build for different purposes, so you can use this for deploy as well. So here you see it's downloading the AWS IAM Authenticator, and for authenticate with Kubernetes cluster. So there is a way that you have to authenticate to the service account in Kubernetes. If you're familiar with Kubernetes, you know that. So you need this authenticator to do that. And kubectl. So for the kubectl, we download kubectl. Then we are creating some for the contain image, for the container tag. We are creating the tag name, passing the environment variable. So like I mentioned, in the environment, you can inject the environment variables there, and the contain image, the app name. So those things we are replacing in the deployment YAML file for the Kubernetes. So all the YAMLs you can keep inside your code commit repository in different hierarchy. So you can simply using a set command, I'm just replacing those parameters. And so here I'm logging to the ECR credential because I want to push my build container to ECR. ECR is the container registry for AWS that you can store. And it's a good feature there. You can enable scanning as well. So you can make sure your container image is vulnerable or not. So you can get the report as well. And after that, you run the kubectl apply command in this here, and you can just do your deployment. So whatever things you want, you write in here like a script. So it's very easy. So you see, right? It's if you want to do scans, you write the scans here. So this is a simple example I'm just showing to the sake of how these things work and the deploy. So this is really awesome. Like I love this. You know that different type of deploy methods, right, Zach? So canary, blue green. So those deploy methods are supported by AWS Core Deploy. That's one of the best because you can automatically roll back these things and support EC2, ECS, and Lambda. So if you're talking about Lambda, Zach is the person. So yeah, we are planning to do a few things like end to end, and we will be sharing all the repos and all the codes. You can try to get hands-on experience on that as well. And IAC, infrastructure as code goals, right? Because you should able to don't be a console person. Put everything as code. Everything is code. Try to do much as possible. So you can recreate your infrastructure again, and if anything goes wrong, don't worry, just recreate your infrastructure again and again. And you can replicate the same production environment identically, the dev, UAT, everything, and your time consuming is very less. And so many things are there. So we'll do a few sessions. So if you ask a few tools like Pulumi and Terraform, and if you're using AWS CloudFormation, you cannot forget about that. So many things you can do in CloudFormation. To be honest, I was very familiar with Terraform. Then after that, I was moving to CloudFormation. I love CloudFormation. It's very easy to actually, to be honest with you, to do. But thing is, the stack will be very long, but don't worry. There are too many plugins you can use. Actually, believe it or not, my good friend and my colleague introduced me these PyCharm. The CloudFormation plugin is really cool. So you can stack your resources in the left side. You can stack all the resources separately and all the parameters very easily you can do. And yes, VS Code also can, but I don't know personally. I love that PyCharm when I do CloudFormation. So this is a sample code pipeline, how it looks like, source, build, deploy, and test. So after deploy, you can run your dash scan, right? So something like that you can run as well. And other tests also, like if you're a quality assurance automation engineer, then it's really important that you work on this and you automate your things, and you get the feedback of that. The logs will be, you can ship to CloudWatch, and you can do the analytics of that. So many things. So it's not end. You can do everything. So some advice. Don't commit the AWS secrets, the repos. So this is, I always tell that. I'll give a good example. So there was a hackathon, I remember. So they, I don't know. So somehow they, my friends, long time ago, mistakenly that push the AWS secrets to the GitHub public repo. There are so many bots are running to scan those, and they will, what do? They will is Terraform an automation tool? Yes, Terraform. We got a question. Terraform is an automation tool for for IAC. If you're into infrastructure as code, Terraform is one of the nice tools that you can automate. Like module wise, you can have the component. For example, if you want to deploy a 3D architecture application, like you have a auto scaling group, some EC2 instances, and your RDS database and your LBs. So you can write one by one with the modules. So Terraform, there's a registry. Zach, if you can just put that registry dot Terraform, that URL, right? Yep. So you go to that, you check. Yes. So you can use their registry. So it's very easy to use that method. So no need to write like everything together, like top to bottom. So for example, if you want NAT gateway, you just enable NAT gateway true. So it will create the NAT gateway, and it will do everything attached to that, your root tables, everything. So yes, it's automation tool for infrastructure as code. So don't confuse with Ansible and Terraform. A lot of people confuse with this Terraform and Ansible. So Terraform is mainly for IAC, infrastructure as code. Yes, let's go back to this one, and please don't commit. So what they do, like mainly using for Bitcoining, right? I mean, like Bitcoin mining and those things. So that's really important. So you can do some automation. I know pre-commits you can configure, like using different tools that, okay, before commit, the pre-commits you can scan the code that, okay, if any vulnerable things are found, so you can block it and reject the commit. So you can configure those things. So we can do such setup. So yeah, and that's why really important to improve the security on your setup. And role-based authentication, yes, RBAC. Go for the RBAC always. Don't use I don't like to use the AWS. I mean, it's okay, but use much as possible RBAC, right, Zach? I think that's the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way you're giving authentication to a group of users with a specific role. So.
Hi, Kasup.
Hi, Kasup.
Yeah, Kasup also with us. So yes, use much as possible RBAC rules. So it's better to go with RBAC rather using the secrets. And the thing is, it's easy. So you don't see any secrets or nothing. It's from roles. We can give the permission. If any newbies here, for example, if you want to access if you want to access the S3 bucket from EC2 instance, if you have attached the IAM role to the EC2 instance, so the EC2 instance can access the S3 bucket. So rather than go and set up the AWS CLI and give the secrets and so on. Yes, the public subnet. So public subnet means, what I meant is, if any subnet is connected to internet gateway, don't deploy those things in other application or your app servers or the database. Don't deploy there because it's vulnerable. So always try to put inside a private subnet, which means there shouldn't be any internet gateways attached to that subnet. So these are basics. So if anyone want to like that basic, like we all willing to learn. So if you want to do about the VPC session, I'm more than happy to do. I've done so many times. So VPC is like a heart of the everything. So network is the network, storage, security. Those are like the main pillars, right? So if you need a session for VPC, I'm more than happy to do. So if anyone don't understand that, I can explain more what is these the root tables and what I'm talking about, these internet, right? So make sure it's not in public. And the KMS is key managed service from AWS. It's the encryption keys you can use. So try to use it, because the awesome thing is KMS is you can share the KMS among the other accounts. So if, for example, if you have a separate account for security, you can have the key there, and you can share the key with other accounts. So if you want to revoke it, you revoke it. So you can, if for example that account is like kind of hacked, or someone got access, you can basically.
Pubudu has a
Yes, correct, Pubudu.
yeah.
Never touch the default. The default, just keep the default resource. We don't need it. Better to create from the beginning, because default VPC comes with the attached internet gateway. So don't touch the default one. Just keep it. We don't need the default. If you can remove the default resource as well, if you know what you're doing, it's okay to remove, because you can create before I think there was a time that you if you delete, you cannot create the VPs, right? You had to request AWS to do it. I think there was a time, but not anymore. So like Pubudu mentioned, don't use the default VPC. I think try to avoid it. If you're a newbie, better you do what, if you know what you're doing before you do anything. So many events are going on, you get free AWS credits, so use it properly, like rather wasting it. So make sure you do what you do. So thanks, Pools, for that tip. And use KMS encryption for everything. You can encrypt your S3 buckets, you encrypt your EBS volumes, you can encrypt your RDS volumes, you can encrypt your secrets. So secret manager is a very awesome tool. For example, if you have the database RDS deployed, and the best practice is chain the secrets, right? The login credentials like once a month. You should be able to cycle it. You should not keep the same secret like always. So secret manager supports that. So easily what you can do is enable the rotation, so it will rotate the secrets. IAC with CI/CD. The gold image tag, what I mentioned is try to create your artifact into a gold image. If you are deploying EC2, create AMI. We call that golden image. So build everything and pack and keep it. So you can deploy anywhere, whenever you want, right? So you should be able to deploy it. If you are using containers, yes, build a package and keep it. So I think same with serverless, right, Zach? So you can build and keep your artifact, correct?
Yes. So you can have it as a template YAML file or a CDK TS file, so that you can take it and deploy it to any environment of your choice. So, yeah.
Whenever you want, you can deploy it. So make sure that you keep the gold image. And this why and what question, always check why this is needed and what is needed, right? So rather everything is there, don't go and just deploy. So always people ask, okay, I want to host a EC2 instance. I want to host a WordPress on AWS. How can I do? So some go with EC2, installing a RDS instance, and a big infrastructure for a WordPress. Or let's just think, right? You deploy WordPress inside a huge Kubernetes cluster, and actually ask yourself, is it really needed or not? If not, the Beanstalk, right? It's such an awesome tool. So you can use the AWS Beanstalk for such things, and you can expand, and you can manage in that. So for a small setup. And if you're running a static site, just go for a AWS S3 static website, right? So I think we can do for newbies, we can do one day that one as well. So it's really easy to create your own website, a static website, using deployed S3 and using the CloudFront. And if you want to be dynamic, I think we can do that one as well, right, Zach? So we can set up that as well.
SSR based web hosting with S3. Yeah. So Zach, just to add on, there is Amplify also, which does the same, but Amplify hosting uses S3 under the hood, and for distribution it has CloudFront, so you don't have to worry about your website being accessible globally and all, right? So
correct. So AWS Amplify also one of the great tools. So yes, we can talk these things about the entire day. I think we'll. I think it's a good point you mentioned that we can do one session regarding that one as well, separate day. So the coming up sessions, there are so many things to come. Okay,
So
can we make a dynamic
website using S3? So dynamic in the sense, if you want to have it as a server rendered kind SSR kind of a website, yes, you can, but you would have to meddle with certain configurations. But yes, it's possible.
It's possible, yes. And can we have a session about multi-cloud? Oh, I love this. Yes, why not?
Oh,
This is the best. Yeah, we can do. So yes, if you're using, even though you know that, okay, I'll give you example. So maybe you want to have a DR, but you don't have to stay. I mean, your organization compliance says, okay, we need a DR, but not the same cloud vendor. You want to go for another cloud vendor, right? Yes, then this can be best practice. That yes, we can do a session about security best practices with that. It will support and build in services. Yes, Pravan, we can do. We'll note it down. We are taking these feedbacks very serious. I mean, like that's what we do. We enable DevOps in our day-to-day life as well. So me and Zach, we take the feedback. For me personally, I don't take any feedback as negative, because all feedbacks are really important. We should take as positive. So that what made me the DevOps culture made me that think like that. So um, we'll do. No worries, we'll do. Thank you very much for that. So set up resource alarms and tags. Yes, um, you must enable alarms, alerts, and the tags means, whatever the resource you're creating, you create tags, because using the tags are really important. I would say why. If you're using an automation, for example, okay, if you want to shut down, or okay, you have a dev environment, you want to shut down at evening 6 and start up in the morning, you have RDS, you have all the other resources which you can shut down and start. Some services unfortunately cannot do. Those services, if you are tagging right, you can write a Lambda function to basic script, right, Zach? So you can start and end in the evening. You can do event log, event to run a cron. So you can do these things. And if you want to check what are the resources running inside, and if you want to if anything with the billing, so the tagging is really important. And there's a resource groups that you can see. Some mistakenly create one EC2 in the North Virginia, and some creating the APC AP South East 2 in Australia, Sydney. Then your bill says, okay, you're paying for the EC2 this much, and you don't know where's the resource. So you have to go through each and everything. If you're using tags, it's very important that you can see those things in one place. So make sure do that. And resource setup alarms and important. So if you're using this AWS account for learning purpose, you create alarm, billing alarm. Okay, per month I can up to go this. You will get alarm. So okay, something some resources are running. So I make sure that I'm not I should go and stop or something. And resource alarm, like okay, is it overutilizing and or underutilizing? You should be able to see what's going on about infrastructure. And yes, the multi-account with organization unit. So this is a really lovely subject to talk about, because that if you're a startup, enterprise, doesn't matter, you go with this setup. For production, you create your production account, separate it, don't mix with other things. And create a separate account for infrastructure DevOps. You do all your CI/CD pipeline there. Don't touch to production. You just keep your production workload in the production, and dev workload dev OU. So keep a centralized logging for separate, and security, because it's considered in billing, right? So you're not going to pay the bill separate to each account, right? So you can pay together, even though you're using the same resource in one account and separating it, same cost. Even the support, as I believe it, if you're in the same OU, you can use the support as that hierarchy, if I'm not wrong. So go for that account, even though if it's a startup, if it's an enterprise, don't hesitate. Even my personal setup, the labs I do, the sessions I do, I have my own OU. So I have separate accounts to do, because the things we do, some are complicated complicated in the sense it's not rocket science. It's like, we need multiple accounts to do, right? So yeah, so go with multi-account and with OU. And the best thing is you can push policies from the OU level, like grandfathering. So you can keep like a kind of a compliance, inside your organization, to make sure to maintain. So those are the like basic things I wanted to cover today, because it's a vast area. I told maybe I missed a few things, but I would love to do more, maybe extend another version of this, or so on. A couple of awesome sessions we are planning to come up with. Thanks, Zacs post the link about the organizations. We go and check, and we'll talk about more. And yes, so if anyone having any questions, please go ahead. We have more time, we can discuss more. And this DevOps you can enable in anywhere, like for anything. It's not limited to one thing. So yeah.
Yep. So can we have
Yes,
DevOps session?
We can. So what do you mean by DevOps hands-on session? Like, what do you want? Like, we want to take one thing, like, okay, I want to automate this thing, something like, okay, do IAC. So we can do. So as I mentioned, DevOps is not one thing, right? So if you ask me, DevOps hands-on session means it's a maybe it's can be add to one semester in your university subject. Yeah. So it's a very vast area. And one more thing, this book, right? I really recommend this book. It's a Gene Kim's DevOps Handbook. So actually, this is a second edition. I bought this a couple of months ago. So this comes with new use cases. The Adidas use cases here, how they about all the structure inside the organized DevOps, and US Air Force, some of the things. The new things are few new things are added. So I really recommend this book, Zach. We are planning to give away some books in the future. So we are going to have some quiz and send these books to wherever you live. So a few are pending. So we'll keep in touch. So we'll post a few of the quiz in the future session. So I'm planning to we are planning to send few of these books to you. So it's really important. It's a really good book. Please read if you want to understand DevOps. And Gene Kim's, there are the Phoenix Project, the Unicorn Project. There's so many books are there. So please read if you want to learn more about DevOps. So
as we were just speaking, I'm sending a link about AWS workshops with DevOps as category, so you can head out there. There is a lot of workshops already available, like setting up certain things, doing CI/CD pipelines, working with Terraform. Everything is available as workshop there. So
yeah. So that I love that AWS workshop, that concept, that because you have all the instructions and in detail, rather just go and click what you're doing, and everything is very in detail with so many links. Please go and try. If any doubts, just you can ask anytime. And yes, if there any question, please raise. More than happy to answer. Anything else, Zach, you want to add? I think there's a big news coming up. So as I mentioned about the AWS Summit ASEAN, it's already done. So AWS Summit India is coming up on 21st of this month, right?
25th and 26th of this month.
Sorry, 25th and 26th. So the link's below there. So Zach is going to do some awesome session. So please get registered and join. And there are a couple of other good sessions as well. You can learn a lot. And if you're new, if you've never heard about Community Builder, it's an awesome program. So like me and Zach met through the Community Builder program, and we met a lot of so awesome people. And the community is expanding, so you can be part of that. Keep an eye on that. So you will get the notification that when there's a new onboarding is going on, so you can onboard. and you can get a lot of benefits like AWS credits and a lot of things. So special swags for if you're doing some awesome things, and so on, and especially you cannot value for the knowledge they're sharing. So many things going on inside that groups. So please register this link, and you can get some awesome session by Zach. Any AWS, any serverless doubts, I directly go to Zach. He's the serverless guru for me.
So I am speaking in AWS Summit India. So my session is about SAM Accelerate and SAM pipeline. So whatever Zach was mentioning in terms of CI/CD pipelines and all. So with serverless, that's achievable with SAM CLI. So that's my session about in the AWS Summit. So you can register in the link that I've mentioned in the comment, and you can get yourself up to skill with a lot of demos, a lot of presentations around different services what AWS offers. So yeah,
it's a one-day, the entire day program, right?
The morning. It's a two-day virtual
2 day
event that's happening. Yeah,
ASEAN is ASEAN. It was on for 1 day, right? I think it's 18th, but they had come to something like partner summit in separate day.
Right. Yeah, so here in India, it's 2-day event, which is with the community and a couple of speakers from AWS, partners and customers, all of them.
Awesome. Yep. So actually, we learned a lot of things from that. Yes. If nothing else, I think that's it for today. So as a hint, next session, so we are planning to go with more containers. So it's going to be a couple of sessions, because we cannot cover the containers in 1 day with 1 hour. So it's going to be boring if you're doing for like a few hours. So we wanted to do for a couple of sessions, planning at least 1, 2, 3, but maybe, let's see, depends on the feedback as well. We can go for 4, 5, or continuously, we can, if you want, we can go with, like, if you containers, right, there are so many things we can talk about and we can do. So yeah, let's do that. So
yep. So if there's any questions, you can put it out in the chat and we can answer them. And
so yeah, so you can put in the YouTube the link later, the questions. If anyone watching this offline, just put your questions there, and yeah, we are more than happy to answer. And if any feedback, please provide. Like, if anything I mean, like, I told something wrong, you can give me the feedback, so we can correct ourselves and improve. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So then stay safe. Have a good day. Thanks for joining. So we hope to see you soon with another awesome, show with the Zac show. So see you guys again.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See you.